Backchat TV. Subscribe.
He has also talked about it. That left hook is so good, and it's so long and so precise and so hard, but
What's going on, guys? It's Backchat TV, and I'm back with another heavyweight fight, this time between Fabio Wardley and David Adeleye. Two up-and-coming prospects. Very excited for this fight. I like to see fights that are kind of, outside the top 10 as well, see who's going to break through. They're both fighters with a lot of talent, and but they've both had a very different road to get to where they are now. Fabio Wardley has had no amateur fights. He didn't have an amateur career. He came from the white collar background, fighting, boxing, and he's kind of been learning on the job. But he has more experience as a pro than Adeleye, and he's definitely fought the better competition. Whereas Adeleye has had a more extensive amateur career, although he didn't fight that many, have that many amateur fights either. He probably had about 20 or something like that. But at the same time, you can see that he's got that amateur training. I think he's the more technical fighter, and I think due to his amateur career, he's got the better fundamentals. But it's going to be an exciting fight. They both don't like each other, and we all know that a fight is better when two people really genuinely don't like each other. I don't know what happened between them, but they've had a few run-ins. From what I can see, the feud has really started from a misunderstanding, from what I can see, because basically Wardley was presented with the opportunity to fight David Adeleye, and when their names started to be talked about as a possible fight between the two, and I feel like Wardley was just trying to kind of make the fight more exciting by talking a little bit of trash in the beginning and making some comments on Twitter and stuff like that, and trying to get the fight. And he seemed to me like he just wanted to make the fight. So when they did meet up in an event, he was like, yeah, let's fight, are you ready, blah blah blah, and he was saying a few things on Twitter. I'm not sure exactly, but it was more kind of like how he would like to fight him and stuff like that. And I think Adeleye just took that totally in the wrong way and took it as a disrespect. So he already had a bit of a chip on his shoulder that he was kind of calling him out. And then they were at an event, and some of the Wardley entourage disrespected Adeleye, and that's how the fight broke out. I feel like Adeleye started the fight, to be honest, and to me, he seems like the aggressor in these situations. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, because Wardley seems like a very kind of low-key, down-to-earth guy. I don't think he's the type to start some kind of unnecessary beef. I think he's more the type to involve himself in a bit of banter just to, make the fight exciting and so that people watch it. But I think that Adeleye just took it too far, and it kind of shows in his character. I don't know why he's got something against Wardley for some reason. So he's kind of come off as the bad guy, to be honest. But doesn't really matter, not really. It doesn't matter in who I think is going to win, but there's definitely some needle there. They dislike each other, and they're going to be trying to knock each other out, which is interesting, because if they didn't dislike each other, we may see a decision, because I feel like their styles, with Wardley coming forward and Adeleye more on the back foot, looking for, a counter. That kind of style tends to sometimes not really take off, but because they dislike each other, they're both going to be trying to land power shots, and that's what we want to see. Onto the actual fight, who do I think is going to win? I'm not sure. I know I always say that, but this one's a real difficult one. Like I said, the inexperience of Adeleye not fighting any notable fighters as a pro, or the experience or the inexperience of Fabio not having a amateur career, which one is going to, play dividend? I'm not sure. Fabio Wardley, like I said, he's done more. He's fought the better competition. I can name some of the fighters that Fabio Wardley has fought. I can't say the same for David Adeleye. That's the honest truth. Wardley also he's pushed himself and got these good top fights, and I feel like he has forced himself to learn more by fighting these fighters. Nathan Gorman, a slick fighter, doesn't really have much power, but he's a slick fighter, and Fabio Wardley, completely dismantled him. He had a good fight with Michael Kofi. Michael Kofi was much more technical, slipping shots. He made Wardley look a little bit, basically, he exposed Wardley and showed what Wardley is kind of missing, not having that amateur career, basically. And I feel like Wardley has grown since then. So, he's had a technical fighter to beat in Michael Kofi. He's had a slick fighter in Nathan Gorman. He's had some fighters who have been aggressive. So he's really growing. Whereas David Adeleye, I haven't seen him growing. He hasn't fought the level of competition that Wardley has, and he even looked like he got beaten in one of his fights. I don't know if it was his last fight. I think it was a Polish guy. I think he lost that fight, to be honest. He got hit with a lot of shots, and I didn't even know that guy's name. So I'm really not sold on David Adeleye yet, although I know he is a prospect. He's a big guy, a hard puncher, but I'm not sold on him. They both have massive flaws, and I'm not sure whose flaw is bigger, but they both have some advantages. They're both big guys, they're both powerful. I'm just not sure about I've got more questions about David Adeleye than I have of Fabio Wardley, to be honest. I feel like Fabio Wardley, he's much better at implementing his game plan. You know what he's going to do. Front foot, he's going to put a lot of pressure on you. He's going to throw a lot of shots, a lot of punches. And he's really going to push the pace. And he does that in every fight, and he's very successful at doing that. He's got a really relentless output, work rate. He's going to be pushing Adeleye against the ropes, throwing non-stop shots, going forward, and he's going to force Adeleye on the back foot. And we know this. We know 100% that's what Fabio Wardley is going to do. That's what he's about. That's what he's good at. For David Adeleye, his advantages, he's strong, physically strong. He's a big man. He's a big puncher, and we've seen that. He's got a good counter right hook. He often uses that quite a lot when fighters are coming in, and Fabio Wardley will be coming in. So, like I said, he's open to a lot of counter shots. But the only thing, I'm really torn. I'm torn between these fighters. I'm really not sure, because the main issue I find with David Adeleye is he's on the back foot a lot. He's going to be pushed on the back foot by Wardley. He's going to end up kind of throwing single shots, and someone throwing single shots against someone throwing multiple shots around. There's only one winner if somebody doesn't get knocked out. They have both vowed to knock each other out, so that's going to be interesting. But if it goes to the scorecards, I think Wardley definitely gets it. But I think Adelaye's got a chance to knock him out. But I think looking for that counter shot that's going to knock Wardley out is what's going to end up making him lose, if you see what I mean. I think Adeleye has to be a lot more active. I think he's got to force the pace against Wardley sometimes. He's got to sometimes counter. When he counters, he's got to now start pushing Wardley back, to create some opportunities. If he allows himself to get pushed back every single minute of the fight, which is what Wardley's going to be trying to do to him, I don't think Adeleye is going to be able to win. He is a hard puncher, but I don't think he's going to make an opportunity where he can land that shot. But it's interesting. I want to see how Wardley's going to take Adelaye's power. I want to see how Adeleye is going to take Wardley's power. I'm really stuck on this fight. Now, I know Wardley's the favourite, and I think most people are going to expect Wardley to win, but I don't think he's going to walk through adeleye, you know. But unfortunately, I do see Wardley winning just with the output. That's the thing that gets me, you know. But I'm really not sure about this fight, because in the beginning when I was thinking about this fight, I had adeleye winning because I thought adeleye was more technical, and Wardley is more of the brawler type. But I feel like Wardley's transitioned from that now. As he's had more fights, like I said, he's got a lot better with his accuracy, with his pressure, with his stamina. Another thing, I've got a feeling David Adeleye has got stamina problems. I think he's got stamina issues. I don't know why, but I can see him getting tired against, especially someone like Wardley. I can see him getting tired and just not throwing enough powerful shots to deter Wardley from pushing him against the ropes. I feel like Adeleye probably carries a bit too much muscle. That's why I think he's going to end up getting tired against Wardley. And I just see Adeleye probably losing in that fashion. So I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go for Wardley. Although they're two big men, I don't think it will be a knockout, funny enough. Maybe a TKO, because Wardley throws so many shots that eventually the ref may just stop the fight if Adeleye is getting hit with a lot of shots. But I don't see him knocking Adeleye out. That could definitely happen with the two big men throwing bombs. But I think it will be a TKO for Wardley or a points decision for Wardley. Let me know what you think. I'm still quite torn on who's going to win, but I didn't want to sit on the fence. I would have to go with Wardley to win this. I think he would be the rightful winner. He's done more. He's fought more competition, and I think he's got more ways to win. You know, he implements his game plan every fight. And Adeleye, I think Adeleye tends to like not really be sure what he's trying to do. He tends to warm up into the fight later on. But I think he's not going to be able to do that, because with the stamina issue, Wardley's going to put it on him, and Adeleye is going to get tired defending all the time. He doesn't really create opportunities enough, and he's going to have to do that against Wardley, and I haven't really seen him do that in fights. In his last fight, I don't know if it was his last fight, but he fought a guy, I forgot his name, like a Polish guy. I thought he beat Adeleye, to be honest. So yeah, at the moment, I've got Wardley winning, but let me know what you think. It's going to be a good fight, 28th of October. I would like to see Frazer Clarke in the mix here as well, because they're all around the same kind of level. Frazer Clarke also hasn't fought a good competition, but he has a much better amateur pedigree than both of them. So that's an interesting fight. I'd definitely like to see who would win out of Frazer Clarke and Wardley, or Frazer Clarke and Adeleye. I'm not sure. It's a difficult one. I think Frazer Clarke technically better than both of them, but I'm not sure. That would be an interesting fight. I think I would favour Frazer Clarke to beat them both. I just think he's technically the better fighter, but he seems to have a little bit of stamina issues also. So basically there's question marks over all of these three prospects. Let me know who you think is going to emerge as the number one out of these three: Frazer Clarke, Wardley, and David Adeleye. Interesting. Definitely an interesting prospect. But in regards to this fight, I'm going to stick with my pick. I pick Fabio Wardley to beat David Adeleye, probably on points or a TKO stoppage on the feet. I don't see him knocking Adeleye out. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm on to the next one. I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. Feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more of a similar nature.